Hi, this is Kavita Suresh Kumar, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to create virtual machines and Azure Load Balancer, and then configure Azure Load Balancer to distribute the incoming traffic to the pool of virtual machines created. I have logged into the Azure portal. First, let's create the virtual machines. Click Virtual Machines, click Create, select Azure Virtual Machine. So we'll create a new resource group. So I'm going to call this as a VM group. Click OK. Then we need to give a virtual machine name. I'm going to create Linux virtual machine. So I'm going to call as a Linux VM1. Region I'm going to leave it as default. And the security type, image, everything I'm going to leave it as default. Even the size also I'm going to leave it as default because it is eligible for the free services. But I'm not going to use the SSH publish key, so I'm going to give the password. So I'm going to give a username and then password. So in this virtual machine, actually I'm going to install the Apache too, and then using the load balancer, I'm going to distribute the load between the two Apache servers which are running in the two different virtual machines. So the Apache server will be running in the port number 80. So I'm going to select the inbound ports as 80 as well. Click Next. So OS disk size I'm going to leave it as default, but the disk type I will select as a standard because this is just for the demo purpose. So I'm not going to attach any new disk, but you can attach. And the key management also I'm going to leave it as a platform management key, but you have the option to specify customer managed key as well. Then click Next. So we are going to create a new virtual network, subnet, public IP. Actually, we don't need to create a public IP, but I'm creating a public IP because I am going to log into the VM and then going to install the Apache and configure it. Click Next. So here I'm going to leave everything as default. Click Next. Click Next. Click Next. So I'm not going to add any tags, but if you want, you can add tags. Then click Review plus Create. Click Create. The deployment is in progress now. So when it is creating the virtual machine 1, let me go and create the second virtual machine also. Click Create, select Azure Virtual Machine. I'm going to give the VM name as Linux VM2. So remaining all I'm going to leave it as default. Again I'm going to select password. Again I'm going to select the inbound ports as 80. So the first VM has been successfully created. Click Next. So again I'm going to select the OS disk type as standard SSD. Remaining all I'm going to leave it as default. Click Review plus Create. Click Create. The deployment is in progress. So while this virtual machine is getting created, I'm going to configure the virtual machine Linux VM1. Click Home, click Virtual Machines, Linux VM1. Copy the public IP address of the VM. Go to the terminal. Let's log into the particular virtual machine. Yes. Provide a password. Now we have successfully logged into this Ubuntu machine. First, let's update. So we have successfully updated. Now let's install the Apache. Yes. Okay, now we have successfully installed Apache 2. Now I am going to add a new HTML file. Here I'm just going to give one message. This is from VM1, and I'm creating this file just to differentiate and show that the request is going to both the VMs, the VM1 and VM2. Save the changes. Okay, so now we are good to go. Let's access the file from the browser and check. So we could see this message is coming from the Linux VM1. Okay, so now let's go and do the similar configurations for the VM2 as well. Let's copy the IP address. This is from the VM1. Now let's log into this VM, second VM. Yes. We've successfully logged into the second VM as well. So we'll follow exactly the same process what we did. First update. Now let's install the Apache 2. Why? So Apache 2 has got successfully installed. Now we will add a default.html file in this VM as well. This is from VM2. Save changes. Let's try accessing this from this VM as well. Yeah, we could see this is from VM2. Now let us go and create a load balancer. Create a resource. Load balancer. Select load balancer. Click create. We'll use the same resource group. We'll give the load balancer a name. So type public because we want to access. Click next. Add a friend-end IP configuration because we are going to access the load balancer through a friend-end IP. So let's give it a name, IP. So we'll create a new public address. So IP. Click OK. Click add. Click next. So now let's add a backend pool. So we'll call it as a VM pool. Virtual network, select the virtual network. Then click add. So it is displaying the two virtual machines. Select them and click add. Click save. So we are not going to add any inbound or outbound rules now. Click next. Click next. Click review plus create. Click create. The deployment of the load balancer is in progress. Deployment of the load balancer is complete. Click go to resource. Click health probes. So we need to add a health probe. We'll give it a name as health probe. The protocol is TCP and the Apache server is running in port number 80. So we will specify the port as 80. Click add. The load balancer uses the health probe to check whether the application is up and running before sending the request to the application. Okay, so the health probe has been successfully created. Now let's create a load balancing rules. Click add. Continuous rule. Front-end IP address, select the front-end IP. The backend pool, select the backend pool. Then the port is 80. The backend port is also 80 because Apache server is running in 80. And the health probe, select the health probe. Then click save. Okay, so now the load balance rule also have been successfully added. Now let's go to the front-end IP configuration and then copy the IP. Now let us try and access our application using the load balancer. So now we could see the request has gone to the VM2. And now we can see the request has gone to the VM1. In this demo, we have seen how to create virtual machines and Azure Load Balancer and configure the Azure Load Balancer to distribute the incoming traffic to the two virtual machines, which is part of the backend pool. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching the demo.